Hey everybody, thanks again for tuning into the Zim Geek channel. I deeply appreciate you being here. And every even video that I do, I like to do a cartoon instructional on just how easy it is to draw a cartoon character. Some you might not know, some you may know. This one you absolutely should know, because he's one of the very first animated characters ever. And of course, that is Felix the cat. And we're going to go through how to draw him as soon as we remind you of our rules for cartooning. Take it away, Bob.
And don't forget our rules of cartooning. All you need is paper and pencil and a good eraser. Make sure you draw light because we're going to be using that eraser. And most importantly, don't get frustrated. Here we go.
Felix is a very simple character, very easy to get into. Don't let him fool you, or don't overthink the problem. Here, don't overthink the character. Felix is about 2.5 heads tall. We're going to start with a head that's just a circle, as well as you can get it. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just has to be. You just have to be able to recognize it as a circle. Now, for guidelines, we're going to have Felix's head looking in that direction. So you're going to treat this like a ball, and hopefully you've watched my video on how to make or how to draw heads, in order to know that. And our other guideline is also going to be a ball, but it's not going to go across the center. It's going to go just a little lower than that, because Felix's eyes are going to sit right on top of that line, and it's a circle. And both of those circles come up and meet with one another, right up. They butt right into one another, almost overlap. This first circle, this first eye can overlap onto the second one. The second one gets tucked around the side of his head, so you're not even going to draw the whole circle. You're just going to draw up to the side of his head. Now for his nose, most noses would go right where those two lines meet, or right below that. This character is different. This character's nose is off to the side in the direction that he's looking, and it is a small oval. Now the fur around his mouth is white, so you're going to follow the line underneath that front eye, and it's going to curve up and curve right around, almost as if you're doing a sideways S, all the way around back up to his nose. Now we're going to add his mouth, the side of his smile here, its top lip. Little space there on the side there. His bottom lip comes up. Doesn't quite go over to the far edge of his top lip. We're going to add a tongue, just a couple of curved lines. And there's his mouth. Now for his eyes, we're going to have him looking right at you. So the eyes are going to be off to the side in ovals. How easy is that? Now for his body. If you see how big his head is, from tip to tip, if you go and measure that down, you'll see that there's one head, and you figure about a half would put him right about there. And now his body is really two circles, smaller circle. There's a small circle on top. That's probably too small. Now you don't have to erase much with Felix, because you can go through and fix him in the inking stage, and hopefully we'll have enough time here to ink him as well. You'll go through here and you see his body is almost a full head tall, looks like a figure 8. Now his legs we're going to have pointed back, so he's kind of pushing his belly out just a little bit because he's proud here. He's going to bring that leg back just a little bit, right there in the side of the belly there, out to his feet. And they're probably not that big, so we're going to erase that and make them just a little smaller. Remember, you're always going to make mistakes. Part of the fun of drawing is the fact that you have that eraser and you are in control. Now for his hands, we're going to have his hands out, and we don't even have to draw total arms. There's not a lot of definition in Felix. He's a lot of very straight lines. Felix was made to be very simple and very easily drawn, so that those animators could sit there and draw him all day and not get too frustrated and actually make some distance. Now you see this arm here comes out from underneath his chin. The other arm comes up, and for palms, we're going to show ovals instead of circles. So he's going to have his hands up in kind of a ta-da pose. Trying to make those palm circles about right there, in that right where the palm meets the wrist. We're going to bump out just a little more and curl up and right around, up, back, and right around just a little bit, right down to that palm line. It's going to bump out, up, back, and right around. There's his thumbs. Now we're going to have his fingers together, so it's just going to come down. We're going to extend that oval out just a little farther, probably about from the point of his wrist to the top of his palm. Should be the same distance from the palm to the tip of his finger. So we can go through and add some fingertips there. He's only got 3 fingers, so we try to make that as even as possible. You want to throw in a little palm line right there, and add a tail right where the bottom part of his body is. We're going to curl it out just a little bit. It's a little thicker at the end than it is on the front. Just a little though. There we go. Now for his ears, we're going to start at the top of the head, right where this second eye meets the side of the head. We're going to curl up to a point. We're going to bring it right back down just barely on the other side of your middle line there. Then we're going to skip just a little bit of space. We're going to draw his other ear. It's going to curl up. Whoop, not that shakily. It's going to curl up. Then it's going to curve right back down, right to the side of his head. And it's going to curl right back out for his whiskers. And he's got 2 sets of whiskers, and it might even go underneath that thumb, right down to the bottom of his head. I'm going to have to move that hand down just a little bit. You see, I made that mistake there. So let me do that. I'm going to erase the hand so that you can see where his whiskers are. That's going to cause a really bad coincidence line that you really don't want with your character. So let me go through it and enlarge my eraser just a little bit, and we're going to move that arm down just a hair. This is why you always want to do pencils before you do inks, so that you can go through and correct any possible mistakes. See, I'm going to lower that arm just a little bit. You want to make each arm as long as the other. Again, the palm is down. Let me erase that line. That was not meant to be there. For his thumb, it's going to bump out, curl up towards the head, back around, and then extend those fingers out. 3 fingers with the palm line. And that'll look so much better once it's inked. And quite honestly, that is Felix the cat. Everything else is just filling in space, which you can do in your inking stage, or if you just like to pencil, everything gets penciled in. Leave a little space here for his palm, maybe a space here to show where his fingers are, to divide his fingers up when you go through and finish your pencils out. But more than likely at this point is now the time to start inking. All right, I'm going to throw another layer in just for fun, and I'm going to ink right over top of that layer. And I'm going to start with a 19 point. I'm going to fill that nose in first. Get that, I don't have my percentages right up there. It needs to be 100%. There we go. No reflection on that nose, like Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse has a small reflection there. I'm going to go through and do that front eye, and that front eye is a circle. Nope, and that doesn't look right. So of course, you have to be very careful in your inking stage, unless you're using Photoshop, and you can go back a step or two. Now, if you're looking at his head, and you're thinking to yourself, man, that looks a lot like Sonic. It's very true. A lot of these characters are all based off of, a lot of these classic animation characters are all based off of Felix. You'd think, oh, wasn't Mickey Mouse first? Nope. Felix was really first. Mickey came in just a little later. Fill in those eyes. Gonna ink in little space there. Right back out, curved line out to his whiskers, back down and back out, down all the way to the bottom. And his smile. Just like that. His hand. There's a thumb. Whoop, that didn't look right. That's okay. You can go through and fill it in. Finger. Want to curve that around. Leave a little. You don't even have to leave a little line there along the top. Just make sure you do a little divide there for those fingers. Right across the top. We're going to ink all of that in. I'm going to go to a larger brush. It's so much easier to ink in Photoshop than it used to be. Having to use a brush. Boom. See how easy that is? We're going to leave a little palm line here. Fill in that thumb, cover over our mistake. Just fill it right in. Bottom part of the arm. Top part of the body. Bottom part of the body is a little thicker. That represents that belly. He's a happy character. So he's a little big on the bottom there. Right around there, a little space there for the palm. Going to curl up and see that almost looks like a shark fin, and I didn't mean for that to happen. So I'm going to curve it around just a little better there. You can always fix it. This is your drawing. You're here to have fun with it. Otherwise, why are you cartooning? Have some fun. All of that gets filled in. Gonna make a little division here so you can see he's got 2 legs instead of 1 leg with 2 feet. His feet aren't nearly as big as some other cartoon characters. His tail here. Come out around. And of course, because I have the magic of Photoshop, I ought to be able to hit that. Ooh, and it doesn't fill in correctly. Okay. Gotta make sure those lines are secure. Now it'll work. Boom. There we go. And of course, if it doesn't look 100% right on Photoshop, at least I can go through and make the lines just a little bigger. You have to be more careful if you're inking on paper. And I also have the luxury when working in Photoshop of flattening everything out and smoothing everything if it doesn't look 100% right. It's part of the fun of drawing digitally. If you're inking on paper, keep some white out handy. White paint also comes in handy. A lot handier than you would expect, but we all make mistakes. That's the way it is. I'm going to fill that in. Look at that. Look at how easy that is. Hey everybody, this looks like Felix the cat. Once you're done inking, of course, make sure that it's dry, and then go through and remove the pencil lines. And how about that? It looks like Felix to me. Hope it does to you. Hope you had some fun and that you learned something. And that's it for this time. If there is a particular cartoon character that you want to learn how to draw, leave me a message in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please also do that to my channel and hit that bell for notifications, because you never know when I'm going to drop another video. I really apologize for it taking so long between the last one and this one, and I guarantee it'll be a lot shorter next time. So until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves, and thanks a lot for being here.